This is Loverboy Dennis of the Midnight Express. You need to get on the inyourheadonline.com. It's great. I just got through doing a little interview with them. These are great guys here. Jump on there and see what they're up to.
All right, we're back, and we are joined by David Wills.
What's going on, guys?
Not much, man.
Not a whole lot.
People probably know you better as It's Still Real to Me, damn it, guy.
Yeah, that's a crying wrestling fan, and whatever else they want to call me. Hey, what can you do, man?
Yeah, I'm sure there's worse things they could call you.
Oh, they have. I've read it, believe me.
Must apologize for Casino Man there.
Not a problem.
He's kind of rough.
Every time Bills cries, a wrestler gets his wings.
So, right. So you've got a column on now. On what website?
Yes, I do. I'm on WorldWrestlingInsanity.com. I'm doing a little column writing for them. It's very challenging. It's something that I never really thought about doing too much before, and I never thought I could find enough about wrestling to write about. But with all the nonsense and shenanigans going on every day, yeah, there's plenty. So I'm trying to do a few columns. If anyone, is bored with their time, feel free to go over there and take a read of what my latest column was. It was comparing the WWE of today to the world class of yesteryear. And I didn't even mention Tim White and suicide, thank God. So. But I did mention a lot of other things, so yeah. Doing that.
Has there been a new Tim White tape out this week?
I don't think so. But how many boxes of tissue did you get through writing that column?
Good or wouldn't go. Not hardly. It was a very serious column, very serious and take, and very good. Take a read of it, see what you think.
Yeah.
That's pretty
good website.
Pardon?
What was that?
Go ahead.
You go on, Dave.
Okay. Just to give you an idea, it was when that little clip on the internet was taped was around the time Eddie Guerrero died. So that was, and a lot of what Terry Funk said was very touching at the time. So, but no, I didn't go through really any boxes of tissue or anything writing the column. Believe me, I'm not that emotional. I'm not exactly, the alpha male, but.
Well, what did you think when the first time you found out that tape was on the internet?
Well, I'm sitting, I didn't go to many message boards before, but since I found I'm on every one of them, I've visited quite a few. But on one of the few I went on, someone messaged me with a sig line, "It's story to be damn it." And I'm thinking, hey, man, great quote. I've used that before. And they're like, have you seen the clip? I'm like, oh, boy, no, uh-oh. I know what that means. So found that it was out there and didn't realize how far it's out there. My boss I come into work today, my boss has the computer pulled up. There's the clip of me photoshopped in with the State of the Union. I mean, this is just, bizarre. Now you know how, the WWE wrestlers feel, or their family, goes to Walmart or Toys R Us and sees a doll of them on, sitting right up there for people to buy. I mean, I'm like, what the heck? I'm glad the clip has got around and became really popular and all. It was an emotional time, and all the issues that went on there do need to be addressed by the major corporations for sure.
No, with the advances in modern technology, they can make dolls that cry. My sister has a few.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what he said.
He's the British guy. He's hard to...
With the advances in modern technology, they can make dolls that cry.
I'm sure they can, most definitely.
You want to just tell us the backstory? What because everybody just sees that part.
Yeah.
What was going on before that?
Not a problem. What had happened was I went up to the CCW Legends Fan Fest in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Up there they had a lot of wrestlers coming in to sign autographs and such like that. They had a question and answer session later that day with Terry Funk, the Midnight Express, Jim Cornette, and Bill Apter was hosting it. Now, when we headed up there, a friend of mine and I, we were able to get there, and the first thing that kind of touched me was seeing Harley Race get out of the car. Now, Harley Race, a legend in the sport, a legend in the business, barely able to walk. And that was just, somewhat disturbing that all the bumps he took for years, he was able to, have some compensation and stuff, and doesn't seem like, we don't hear about those who are in the really desperate physical shape or financial shape who don't have, like a name like Ray's. And then as I'm walking around, I see Terry Funk walking, and if you saw beyond that, his knees is just difficult for him as well.
Right.
So that was touching, but, I wanted to have fun. I got to meet, Jerry the King Lawler, Tracy Smothers, the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant, the Barbarian, who is one of my favorites and has been for a long time. Got to see many folks. I was really happy about that. And then for the question and answer, we sit down, and they're asking questions about who would you like the dream match you had, who would you like that to be with? And Terry Funk answered, I'd like to have one more with Eddie Guerrero. Now, keep in mind, this was the week that Eddie Guerrero passed away,
right? And
that Nick Dinsmore it had been reported on WWE.com about him in England whacked up the Zomas. And, that was, he talked about that, Terry Funk had mentioned that, and I'll give you some backstory on that. He had mentioned that when you go right down to it and get right down to it, that wrestling needs to police themselves and try to steer the folks, that the people who are training mentor away from certain things like substances that they should be taking and other things, because if they don't, then, who knows what else is going to happen. If you take a crack house, every city's got one, Spartanburg, South Carolina, you take that crack house and you look back 5 years and see the number of deaths that have occurred via police reports or newspaper or whatever, wrestling will have had more than that in the past 5 years.
Right.
And Funk had mentioned that, and then after he was talking, that really set in with me, and I realized that not only that, but these guys are paying such a tough bargain, such a compromise. These guys are, it has to be any business, especially wrestling, that the guys who are out there busting their tails every night for entertainment are going out there and are wagering a lot of their future. How many nights or days will they not be able to get down on the floor and play with their grandchildren? Or how much pain will they be in for the rest of their lives, or how many times will their neck hurt for the excitement we're able to see?
Right.
And I wanted to thank them for the effort that they had put out, and thank them for what they had done to their bodies for our entertainment. And so I didn't want to see another one of these deaths. And it didn't come out that way, needless to say, but because I just was all wet up with emotion. It was a very difficult time. I'm sure many folks cried during the week of SmackDown as Eddie and Raw as Eddie, and just put the time frame. It wasn't an issue of somebody thinking that wrestling's still staged or anything like that. It was, there's some definite issues in there, and when Terry Funk is up there saying we need to police ourselves and get with folks, get with our trainees, the people we mentor, and say, hey, we need to stay away from that kind of stuff, because, he said, even if we have to go to and when I say we, I'm talking about the wrestling business, not me, because I'm not a wrestler or trainer or anything. He says the wrestlers and the business need to hold their trainees accountable, even if they will come to the point of withholding their own respect from them if they get involved in stuff. He pointed out Trevor Murdoch was trained by Harley Race,
right,
and Trevor knows not to get involved in stuff, because his trainer Harley Race will withhold his respect from him, and that's something that he doesn't want. He wants to have his trainer's respect and wants to be able to, be looked upon positively by, the legend that trained him.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get down to it, maybe we do need a little more of that in wrestling, a little more of folks, taking the folks they mentor and talking to them and finding out what's going on.
Somebody in our chat room here, Slotty Bardfast, he wants to know if you've been approached to do any commercials parodying the internet clip.
No, and, yes. No, one second, yes. Sorry about that.
No worries, no problem, dude.
Okay.
He's negotiating already in the back.
No, I haven't. No, I wish I'm actually working right now.
He's got the agents calling in.
Oh.
Taking a little break. But, no, I haven't been approached to do any commercials. And to be honest, I'm really not really interested in doing any commercials or anything like that. That was a one-time thing. I don't see that I don't see other occasions where it's possible I might get emotional, but then again, I didn't see that one coming. You never can tell.
How about a T-shirt? I think people would buy a T-shirt.
Pardon me?
How about a T-shirt?
T-shirt?
Yeah.
I don't know what the market would be. I sure don't think that I've done anything spectacular or special. I'm just a fan. I just went up there and was up with emotion, and the kids still running me, damn it. Yeah, maybe that was, I don't really know what that was. Maybe it was, me letting go the fact that I was, the kind of business and the kind of what I grew up on is no longer there. The kayfabe era of wrestling is gone and will not be coming back. It seems now, instead of being really excited about a really good angle or, to get behind a really good wrestler or match or feud, a lot of people are really chanting, you effed up and not showing a lot of business respect. And, we don't look at to see, hey, what happened to this dude, it's difficult, but, we look at it as more of, everyone should be polished, professional, Chris Benoit in the ring, and if they're not, then, it's no good. And to a certain extent, we need to think about that. For some guys, what they're doing is the best they can do, and, I'm really not interested in, making money off this or anything like that. Jimmy Kimmel called me. They played the clip on their show. They wanted me to come on there. I still think I'm just a fan. I'm not really interested in a lot of that stuff. I don't mind doing the interviews because I do want to set the story straight.
Right. Mm-hmm. No, you're definitely a good sport for coming on here. You got the little graphic on the website where you do the where you do the column. Mm-hmm. Definitely a good sport about it all.
Well, perhaps there is something to say. To be honest, the wrestling business is passing me by as a fan myself. I'm 31. I've been following it since I was 11. So that's 20 years right now that I've been following the sport. And it doesn't look anywhere close to what hooked me, what I grew up on. And I really miss a lot of the logical angles, a lot of the stuff where you weren't embarrassed to be a fan.
Right.
Some of the nonsense they show. I was ready to vomit the other night when I was live at Phillips Arena because they showed the SmackDown rebound and interspersed clips of Eddie Guerrero. Yeah. Come on. The man's dead. Let him rest in peace.
Definitely.
And it's just, that's, granted, wrestling's always been that, but promoters should think that instead of trying to go to the lowest common denominator, that even though wrestling is all out, everyone knows, it's scripted, it's staged, whatever you want to call it, everyone can suspend their disbelief with a good product, with a good show. And they should try to look for a hybrid of that, in my opinion.
I just want to say, you turned down Kimmel to come on In Your Head. That's something right there.
Well, what happened with Kimmel is they called me and spoke to me for a little bit, and they asked me, would you be willing to come on? And I told them, sure, whatever. At first I told them, sure. And then they called me and asked me a bunch of questions and said, yeah, we want you on. Someone's going to call you and ask you some questions and arrange travel. I said, okay, why not? So get ready to appear or get ready to talk to them. They come back and ask me a lot of questions, and a lot of them is, how often do you cry? Do you cry much? And we got a bunch of wrestlers who would you cry? I'm like, I honestly doubt it.
Right.
I'm just a fan. That was just a rare occurrence. That was 20 seconds of my life that people are judging my intelligence or anything on. You could have a bowel movement and people could judge your life by that kind of stuff.
He just walks around and takes a bowel movement all day.
So, you know, they think that, and after that, I gave them some dates I could come because I'm sorry, but I'm happy with the day job I do. I work in Atlanta, and I'm very happy. The owners of the company and my boss and the clients have been very cool with all this. I had to go tell them that was kind of interesting. They kind of had a little fun with me and give me a little bit of a hard time about it, but they've been very understanding over the whole situation. And my personal interest is to what's putting money on my table for my wife and me, and you know our little cats and everything like that. So I gave them some dates I could travel, and never heard anything back. So as far as I'm concerned,
you know the real reason you didn't do Kimmel was because you have taste, and you came on In Your Head.
Hey, man, to be honest, I'd rather do In Your Head than Kimmel. I'm not going to lie about it. I mean, I'd rather talk to wrestling fans. The mainstream media, the mainstream people who look down at wrestling, pardon me, the mainstream folks are never really going to understand except wrestling. Like, wrestling, that's fake, that's the... Let me tell you something. A majority of the movies you go to and see are fake. Guess what? There's no 50-foot gorilla like King Kong terrorizing New York right now.
Right.
You know,
you never hear anybody say that movie's fake. You know.
You know, I haven't seen a Klingon walking around Hot Atlanta lately. You know, and I'm not dissing anybody like that. I don't I don't see Darth Vader coming around Bad Street here. You know, I'm not dissing anybody like that because I understand. I mean, everyone likes what they like, and it's such a big thing.
It's really it seems so outdated. If anytime any kind of wrestler's on like a regular show, they always ask, is it fake? It's just anybody who watches it for the last 20 years or whatever, to ask that question, it just seems so outdated. Because no one who watches it now thinks, it's, like you said, it's all, it's all legit and everything.
Well, to be honest, that's also a lot of business's fault, because I preferred it when there was a little doubt. It's okay for it to be scripted, but I want to sit down and I want to watch something that's very entertaining first and foremost. I want to be entertained.
Right.
I want to be entertained. I like the athletic competition. I want to see a match where there's going to be reasons why it happened. Why is this guy getting a title shot? Why is the logical reason? Why is this guy mad at this guy?
Right.
Why is this feud going on? Sheldon Benjamin brings his mom out. Why? I mean,
right.
they hire Thea Vidal or whatever her name is from Thea, who used to be on there back in 90-something, and Jim Cornette's sitting at home. What's wrong with this picture? I mean,
exactly.
Well, Jim Cornette...
Bobby Heenan's never used anymore, I mean, I don't know how his health problem is, but he was still one of the better ones in his day. Wrestling is passing so many folks by, and, they want to have this, hybrid of sports entertainment. Let me tell you something. Pro wrestling's a hybrid already. You have superheroes day and night. Every night fighting the battle of good and evil. You have great stories and underdogs and people overcoming odds to come in and to wrestle and do battle, where children are wanting to grow up to be the champion, or want to be the best they can be, where a guy can... That's one of the few areas of entertainment where you can look at a guy just starting out and follow his career as he goes up and say, yeah, I was along for the ride. I jumped on that bandwagon. Let me tell you something. It's one of the best forms of entertainment, when done well, that I could ever show you.
Oh, definitely.
And,
I've been a wrestling fan pretty much my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you say about a movie, though, if a movie is just, silly, and you just know it can't, you can get into a movie, that it's not really happening. But if the storyline is, interesting, you can get into it. And same thing in wrestling. If it's just totally out there, you really can't get into it.
No, and of course you're always going to have your MTV films or whatever, or some films that, are made for the masses that are just made to make a buck, or just silly or goofy or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, there's room for some weird stuff on there once in a while. Just not the whole show.
That recent Herbie the Love Bug. Yeah.
Stuff like that. That horrible Dukes of Hazzard remake that I won't watch.
Oh, there you go. That's a good one. Kimmel probably loves
Sometimes
that
when something's done sometimes when something's done well, it maybe shouldn't be redone unless you're going to actually try to make it, try to do it, justice.
God, there's too many remakes nowadays.
Oh, yeah, everything's a remake.
We're not doing new and interesting things, I've never seen it happen before. It must be great. I've never seen them bring a cow in the ring and give it a suplex. That don't mean that's great.
There was a monkey that was a hardcore champion in Japan for a while.
There was what?
There was a monkey that was a champion in Japan for a while. And a lapa.
Monkey?
A monkey?
A lapa held titles in Japan.
Barbie's a big fan of monkeys.
Mm-hmm. They call them pirates.
Pirate monkeys.
That's what happens. I mean, whatever anyone wants to be a fan of, that's great, man.
Right.
I mean, I don't have a problem with folks who, if they love this new WWE and just think that they just want to spend money to buy a Sheldon's Mama T-shirt, that's just fantastic. But, if they want to, go out there and spend a lot of money and think it's just Tim White suicide's the greatest thing, I question it, but whatever they want to do, it's just, not really my cup of tea. And no, in some cases, it's not still to me. I'll be the first to say that, too.
Right. What would be your favorite era? Or your favorite territory?
Favorite era and territory, I would say probably back in the mid-'80s to late '80s. Really enjoyed the mid-'80s with the UWF, Bill Watts promotion, as a matter of fact.
Right.
With DiBiase.
This one now, sorry. The 22nd, we'll have Cowboy Bill Watts on as a guest.
And everybody should listen to that. That'd be a great interview. I'll be listening to that.
Cool.
For sure.
Excellent.
You go on there, sorry.
Because, go ahead.
No, I was telling you to go on.
Okay. Bill Watts had one of he was one who still believed in the kayfabe era where, it's real and you try to suspend disbelief. I listened to some interviews that Cornette did on the shoot interviews about, even in the same room, Watts would have the heels and the faces separated, not talking to each other. It's good to be able to suspend disbelief where, you don't know the magician's, about to pull the rabbit out of the hat, and you don't see the rabbit before then. But, I mean, back then you could believe it was more athletic and sport-based. You had more of a reason to tune in, and I really enjoyed seeing Ted DiBiase and Hacksaw Duggan whenever, he was real good then, and who else? The Terry Taylor, the Freebirds, the Fantastic Sheep Herders. Sheep Herders totally different than the Bushwhackers. They were just, it was a brawling, smash mouth territory like what is somewhat similar to ECW, what it became. But it was just some great wrestling, some great brawling. Love Memphis wrestling. Memphis wrestling with Jerry Lawler and Superstar Billy Dundee and all these guys. Fantastic talents, and the studio atmosphere, which you don't see anymore. Studio wrestling, in WWE or the mainstream. WCW, War Championship Wrestling, was a studio show before that was the name of the company for the NWA. And, in studio wrestling, even though you may be watching it tape or whatever, you can have the appearance of never know what's going to happen next, and you see some surprises and stuff. And Memphis wrestling, the studio wrestling, some of the angles they did with Austin Idol and the King and Lawler and the King, the fabulous ones, they were just something to really enjoy. And that was just a part that I really did like. Just really enjoyed it.
Do you have any questions from the message board, Incher?
Let's see here. I had some pulled up just a second ago, and I took a look at the chat room. Okay, Hambone. He wants to know, who does he reckon was better, Hillbilly Jim or Haystacks the Calhoun?
Yeah, I saw that question earlier. For anybody who can put those two in a sentence, that's great. I'm really not the biggest fan of hillbillies, but...
I think Hambone's our resident hillbilly fan, InYourHeadOnline.com.
Cool, man.
Oh, me and the Hammer, we get along.
The Hambone.
He also wants to know if you tried out for a spot in the Spirit Squad.
Anyone who's thinking about the two hillbillies and the Spirit Squad, you got to wonder right there for sure, buddy.
Now that would be a gimmick. A hillbilly male cheerleaders.
That'd be kind of interesting. Don't tell them. They'll have Hillbilly Jim or Dutch Mantel or somebody. Well, Dutch is a TNA, but that's something running there doing today.
They just throw some money at him. He'll jump.
Wouldn't be. It'd probably be better than some of what they got now. Come on. I'd rather watch that than just, digging up Eddie and burying him every week. Come on.
Oh, that's just ridiculous.
WWE Junkies wants to know, which wrestler do you consider a legend?
Which wrestler I consider a legend? Oh, there's just so many. Always was a big fan of Nature Boy. Enjoyed Jerry Lawler. Big fan of Chris Benoit now. Liked Samoa Joe. Always been a big Barbarian fan.
Joe, yeah.
Kong the Barbarian, I think he's great. I'd like to see them do something with Kong the Barbarian is a Samoan. Well, he's of Samoan ancestry, or he's Tongan. And Samoa Joe, y'all do something with Samoa Joe and Barbarian one of these days. That'd be kind of neat. But I don't know what they do, but I mean...
Sitcom?
Sitcom. A buddy cop movie. No, but you could bring him in as, as like the legendary Samoan guy.
It'd be neat.
Yeah.
But, well, I did better with the face paint, not as the, having the antlers. I don't think antlers go well for wrestling. The Boogeyman, he had antlers. That was kind of silly.
Yeah.
But, man, same thing I didn't like. I didn't think of him as a head shrinker. That wasn't my favorite gimmick, too. But
yeah.
Powers of Pain, really looking forward to seeing them.
Yeah, they're coming back together. You going to be at that show?
As a matter of fact, since you give me some time to plug a few things, yes, I will be at that show. It is March the 4th at Lenore, North Carolina, the Mulberry Rec Center. I will be appearing as special guest ring announcer for the main events and a couple of good events. You're going to see Dusty the American Dream Rose takes on Jerry the King Lawler. Just a battle of two legends I'm looking forward to. And in a tag team event that's going to happen that night, one match that I really always would have loved to see, but it never happened, and I don't think it's happened on the indie scene because these guys haven't teamed up very much, but the reuniting Powers of Pain, the Warlord and the Barbarian, team up to take on Dennis Condrey and Bobby Eaton, the Midnight Express.
Oh, that'll be
so
awesome.
That will be, just as a fan, when they called me up and said, would you be a part of it? Let me tell you, even though I hardly do anything involved in the business, I just go to shows now or whatever. I've done the ring announcing stuff before, and, it was a different part of me. But to be able to appear on that show with the King and the Barbarian, and I think they're going to have David Flair against Greg Valentine and Ambrose Neal against Tracy Brooks as well. So just to be able to appear on that show, I'm very thankful for the opportunity Rob gave me. And I'm really looking forward to that. March the 4th in Lenore, North Carolina at the Mulberry Rec Center. And I'll give you an exclusive to my website's up. It kind of sucks. I hadn't got all my pictures up or anything. But www.itsstillrealtome.com or Dave Wills, DAVWILLS Wrestling.com is, you can go to either one of them. I got two URLs that redirects to both of them. But there, and I'm doing a column on WorldWrestlingInsanity.com. Hopefully, have another column up shortly. So it's keeping me busy. I'm enjoying being able to be a fan and be able to live the dream of what a lot of fans love to do. I mean, how many guys would want to go out there? And this is the great thing about wrestling too. You can actually go out and actually live some of your dreams. I mean, some guys dream of main event in the WrestleMania or being at WrestleMania. I'm not real. I wouldn't go to Vince now if he called, because I'm happy doing what I'm doing with the company I work for in Atlanta. I mean, I have no desire to be in the business. You already see if you read the J.J. Dillon book and saw that the Raws don't have any job security up there, so I wouldn't go to WWE. And
Dillon interviewed the guy twice.
Yeah, we had him on.
Bart's just tooting his own horn. He just.
Okay. But I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just really.
No, he's hard to. He's breaking up.
He's breaking up. Yeah. I want to see some autographed 8x10s on that website. I'll slap the money down.
For what? For what? Come on now.
You need to write "It's Still Real to Me" and then sign it David Wills.
Yeah. I'll put somebody in your head. It's still real to me. Damn it, teacher.
But here's the thing. I still really, and this is just the truth, I don't think I've really done anything that special when you get down to it. I was on a popular internet site. I was on a popular internet video clip or whatever. And, you know, I mean, I've got a lot of rhythm. People have said, oh, no, you were crying about the diva search. Or you were crying because you thought it was real. You're just a fat redneck. Whatever. They can say anything they want about me because that means they're leaving somebody else alone. And, you know, a lot of other folks might have taken it a lot differently, but so what? I mean, people can do that, but, you know, to be able, now that I got a little bit of publicity, to actually, you know, write for a magazine, to be interviewed on great shows like In Your Head online.com.
Oh, man, yes.
I mean, to be able to do that, to be able to be a part of a show with one of your favorite wrestlers, many of your favorite wrestlers, growing up. And let me tell you something, the happiness I see that night is going to be very real to me. The happiness that I appear when I appear and I'm able to, you know, see these stars and to watch this great match, that's still real to me. And nothing's going to take that away from me. And regardless of what all goes down with this, or if this thing gets popular again or goes away tomorrow, you know, I'm just glad I've been able to say that I'm a wrestling fan, and I'm happy to be a wrestling fan. And I just hate that, you know, in my opinion, if the current incarnation of wrestling continues, that I don't know if you're going to have as many people, you know, feeling the same way that I did. I keep seeing in 20 years people going to a show, a legend show, to meet the Boogeyman. I mean, you know, and say what a great match you had because they're only 2 minutes. I mean,
yeah.
You know, the emotional connection isn't there, and it's something that's missing, and I hope it comes back one day.
Someone did just ask here in our chat room, Lord Humongous, he wants to know if you ever thought about getting your quote copywritten.
You got to get in there before.
As a matter of fact, my boss and I had that discussion after I let him know that it had been played on Jimmy Kimmel. Even though Kimmel's not played in Atlanta, I said, you know, I've been on a national television show and didn't even know it, and I didn't know it was going to be on there.
Right.
At his urging, and another friend of mine, I did talk to a intellectual property attorney, and it's just so generic. There's really not a lot you can do about copyright.
Right.
And as far as Kimmel goes, their clip qualifies for fair use because they can say it was a satire or newsworthy or whatever. And I'm not going to waste money or attorney trying to get anything. I mean, it's not even shown in my hometown. What damage is that going to do to me? You know, High Spots actually sent me a copy of the show, so I can't diss them. I didn't know they were going to put that up, but you know. Yeah. I mean, it happens. Sometimes you get emotional, and sometimes that's what you get known for. If I'm known as the crying wrestling fan, you know, forever, so be it. I mean, I'm proud to be a fan, and I'm glad. I've got a lot of emails of people saying, you know, Dave, it is still real to me, damn it. You're right. You know, we ought to show the guys some respect. Yeah, it'd be great to see if these guys could eventually go out and get maybe some health care or a union, or a smart attorney would look into this nonsense about being independent contractors but barred from working anywhere else. If they'll actually try to do something to, you know, quit promoting bodies based on possible substances. I mean, there's certain things you can do with your body that you can't physically do without a little help, and to look into something like that. That'd be great if some change happened. I just hope, if nothing else, it brings a little awareness to the guys who busted their butts for, you know, years and didn't get nothing to show for it. If it makes other people say, you know, Dennis Condrey, you know, I've really appreciated everything you did. Thanks a whole bunch for what you did. You've really entertained me. Thanks, Jim Cornette, for all you did. You've entertained me. You know, Nature Boy, I know you're out there. You know, you've entertained me for years. You know, if it makes people think about that, that's great. It makes people respect the guys in the business and who have given so much. Have I given anything? No. No. I don't consider what I've done monumental or important or anything. This got a silly clip of me played out there, and so be it.
Right.
But,
before we let you go here, would you mind giving us an in your head, it's still real to me, damn it? You don't have to, you know, do it emotionally.
I'll be happy to give you a little promo here. Right now you're listening.
Sorry about that. You go, man. I'll be quiet.
No problem. Right now you're listening to InYourHead.com. Yeah.
InYourHeadOnline.com.
Screwed it up.
That's all right.
No problem. This is David Wills, also known as the Crying Wrestling Fan, and you're listening to InYourHeadOnline.com radio. Tune in every week for the best of interviews and the best wrestling news and stuff right here at www.InYourHeadOnline.com.
You man, thanks. It took Funk 6 times, so you have nothing to be worried about.
Well, it got a little difficult there. We got it out. So, if anyone wants to send me an email, I can't figure out why they would. But they're bored and have no life. Give me a, email or visit the site or whatever. I mean, I appreciate everybody. I even appreciate Bart, too. He threw in his little comments. I'm sorry I couldn't hear him and everything,
Well, at least someone.
I mean, I take it all in fun. I've been called, this loser probably sits in the bottom basement of his parents' house eating Cheetos in his underwear.
Oh, man.
Well, so what?
You called me out, dude. You know who I am. So.
I'm like, what? My parents have a basement, and, whatever. I don't. And, if it makes them laugh at things and gets their mind off something, so be it. We got too much unhappiness in the world, and we need a little laughter. And if it brightens people's day, I'm glad it happened. Go for it. I can see if it wasn't, I could see without the backstory how that's hilarious. Some big guy crying over wrestling, but a little more to it, and enjoy the clip. And enjoy wrestling, and hang in there, everybody.
Thanks for coming on, man. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, man.
You can call in you can call in anytime. You can call in and ask when we have a guest on, ask a question, anything you want.
I appreciate that. Y'all are great, and this is a show that I'd recommend anybody. And
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
This is Jim Cornette. You're listening to InYourHeadOnline.com, and you made the right choice.